And welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the Grayscale Trust. With that being said, let's get it. All right, so the markets were up considerably today. And again, crypto was also up quite a bit. I believe Bitcoin earlier today was actually above 70,000. Currently kind of treading right along that $70,000 level. Again, I think the markets are just simply waiting for the outcome of the elections. But I will point out something here about this. Okay, so you guys can see we're pretty bullish on just about everything. So native crypto, the miners, and then we also got, let's scroll up here a little bit. You can see Coinbase and MicroStrategy are also very bullish. So everything's looking good. We're still in earnings season. Elections and midterms will be over tonight. I don't see any reason why they should be delayed longer than today. And then we have the next Fed meeting on Thursday. So you're probably going to hear a lot of political rhetoric from the Fed on Thursday as well, because of course, whether Trump or Kamala gets elected, there will likely be a change in policy. So, but of course, you guys know my stance. Trump is very, very likely to get elected. The market, I can tell you guys right now, if the market was uncertain about the direction of the election, we would not be seeing all this green right now. Okay. Because again, if the markets were truly uncertain about the outcome of the election, we would still be mostly be going sideways. But today was actually not a sideways day. You guys, well, okay, let me actually pop over here on the NASDAQ. I forget that futures actually opens up at 3 in the afternoon. Again, this is not a futures video, but you guys can see a nice big fat green candle here on the NASDAQ. 1.5%, and the rest of them, I believe, were also green as well. So that's just something to point out, all right? So let's go ahead and get into it. So the LTCN had a small red day on that. Again, I think it's short-lived. Pretty much everything in crypto, once the elections, midterms are over, we get past this. Well, I don't even think the FOMC is really all that relevant at this point. We already know they're going to cut. Probably even more so if Trump gets elected, which he probably will. But so that's good for risk on assets, right? That's what we want. We want the Fed to cut so that the money can flow from the $6 trillion sitting on the sidelines back into the markets. Because again, these people that make money, they got to make money, right? And then crypto will moonshot, and then we'll finally get all the targets we've been looking at forever. So yeah, anyways, so I think once Bitcoin gets past 74,000, that's pretty much it. We should see pretty much all of these start to rise. Okay, so LTCN, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think this is a pullback in time, but it's obviously the reverse of what we've seen with Bitcoin. You guys are probably wondering, well, what does that mean? Does it mean it's going to dump? No. If we did not have these golden crosses right here, I would say, yes, this is probably a bear flag. It looks like it's going to dump. But again, these indicators are bullish and the timing of the cycle is off for a bear market. So yeah, I'm thinking it's a pullback in time going up, and then boom, we're eventually going to pop to the upside is kind of what I'm thinking here. All right, so anywhere between 13 to 1650 support. You guys already know about the 25 to 27, and you got your 54 up there. So measured move here would be roughly about 335% gain. Of course, it kind of depends on exactly where you get in, how much the percentage gain would be. So BCHG, nice little pullback. If you guys are looking for a dip buy, here it is. So 610 to roughly about, say maybe about 750, somewhere in there could be a good buy. And then you have 10.5 up to 20, and then 24 at the swing high. So measuring this from there to the swing high, roughly about 300% gain. HZEN, mostly just sideways. Again, this is actually going up, so that's good. We just got to get right above here at about 6 to create a structure change or a trend change. But as of right now, 340 to 410 is still going to be kind of our support zone here. Of course, it could just bounce right off the top of this channel. That does happen pretty often with these bullish or bearish patterns. So targets above head, we're looking at roughly about 690 to 10.5. And again, if I just give the measured move here, looking at about 195% gain. And even if it doesn't go down below, even if we don't get a candle below this channel, which is, again, likely we're not going to close below here, it could still wick down and then come back up and reverse immediately. Again, a lot of these candles that you can see that went below the EMAs, they wicked down and then they came back up and closed either at the EMAs or above the EMAs, right? So it's possible. ETCG. So we're finally getting a small little breakout here. Like I said, I think this likely is going to go up, not down, even though this is actually a bearish pattern in a downtrend, which is usually when you would see a bearish pattern in a downtrend. Okay, and it usually does break down. But in this case, because we got these golden indicators here, I didn't see that as being likely, okay? So as of right now, until we get the weekly close above this trend line, still going to be looking at about $7.10 to about $10 as support here. And then you got I'd say about 13 and a quarter to $20, looking as the potential like first target. Again, 180% move here. So whether you guys choose to like take profit in quarter increments or half increments or 10% every, like, let's say every $3 or $4 it goes up, or everything all at once, I mean, that's up to you guys. So ETH W pattern here. Again, in order for this to be obvious, I would need to show you guys kind of what a W pattern would look like. Again, this is going to be kind of janky, but that's theoretically what it should look like, something like that. Then, of course, we have this gap right here. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this big fat gap here, but there is a gap. These things pretty much almost always get filled. So my buy zone here is going to be 1830. Then you have the gap that needs to be filled between about 2260 to 2550. And it's within the zone, so 2350 to 2850, and then the cup and handle target at 4760. Okay, so measured move here, roughly about 155% gain. You can see it was kind of a mixed day on the Grayscale Trust. Am I surprised by this? Not really. I mean, you guys got to understand something here. So even Wall Street is sitting on the sidelines waiting to see who's going to get elected, most likely. Why is this? Because, again, Trump has a pro-business policy, okay? Kamala has an anti-business policy. Kamala Harris wants to tax the wealthiest individuals in society on unrealized capital gains at 25% rate. If she can do it to the wealthiest people in society, I guarantee you at some point well, I can't say I guarantee you, but I'm pretty confident at some point they may try to do that to middle class people and lower class people. That's not something we really want for people that are trying to get wealthy. You don't want to eventually be in that unrealized capital gains tax rate, which, by the way, came from Elizabeth Warren. If you guys are wondering where that came from, it's the dumbest idea ever. I think it's a load of BS. And nothing that Elizabeth Warren ever comes up with gets passed. So, if Kamala gets elected, well, that would be Elizabeth Warren's way of getting, and again, this is strictly my opinion, her way of kind of getting a workaround to get that put into law, which, again, is complete nonsense. All right. Whereas for Trump, he's trying to get people tax cuts, which obviously by itself, by the nature of a tax cut, it enriches all of society, right? I mean, I'll put it to you like this. Even people that are business people in New York, in the finance capital of the entire country, where I will say where my family originates from is from New York, okay? Even people that are wealthy that own businesses there are leaving the state because they don't want to do business in there anymore because of all the BS that's going on in that state. You guys can think of what you want to about that. I'm just telling you like it is, okay? So GBAT, 440 to 530 here at support. Again, it's testing the support. You guys can buy if you want to or not. That's up to you. I'm just bringing you guys the info here. So 8 to 10, and then you got 32 at the all-time highs. So I suppose if you just bought right here, you'd be looking at about 98% and 560% respectively. FILG, FILG, so this is actually potentially looking like a possible double bottom, even maybe a W pattern here, which again, the top of the pattern would be about 113. So your buy zone could be anywhere from that 24 to roughly about 41. All-time high up there at 400. If you're worried it's not going to hold this double bottom pattern, which it may or may not, I would say it probably is, but 460 to 12 would be the level below that. So about a 1,650% gain. Okay, GLIV, next one here. This one's a little bit more difficult to try to map out. I would say if it does pull back, maybe it stops here at the $7 area and then pops. You can see there you have a lot of resistance peaks here that eventually got broken and never got retested. So maybe it stops at 7, bounces off that. 12 to 15 is the level above head, and then you have 80. This one, it's hard to say if this is an undercut, okay? Because usually undercuts are pretty brief, or overcuts, they don't happen for that long, okay? They're pretty short-lived if you get one. And I'm not actually really seeing one on this chart, but if you get one, it usually maybe takes like a week. Most of them are like a week, maybe a couple of weeks. On the daily, you might get like a couple bars on the daily that happens, so it's hard to say exactly what to expect here. Worst case scenario, it does come down to that support. You'd be looking at about 1,100% gain just to get back to the highs. So this bar right here, this is an example of an undercut, okay? And then boom, it popped off to the moon. Okay, so support here, 39 to 45 for G-Link. You have 68 to 220 for the all-time highs up here. 497% gain. GSOL. You got 300 to 350, and then 580 is the all-time high there, so about a 97% gain. GXLM, the buy zone here between 1460 to roughly about 2450, and then you have between 55 and it looks like about $70 at that swing high up there. So a measured move here, about 393% gain. Mana. So this could be an undercut right here, okay? You guys can see it wigged down, came back up, wigged down, came back up, and then we might be actually seeing the same thing here. So do keep that in mind. But as of right now, I'd say maybe that 870 could hold. Again, you kind of have some tops sitting right there, right around that level, back here. So somewhere between 870 to $10, and then you're looking at 1720 to 2050, and then 70 for the all-time highs. So measure move here, 592% gain. All right, hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.